I went to the convenience store for a late-night ramen run and ended up in handcuffs by mistake. I entered the convenience store and headed straight to where the ramen was. All I had was $5 cash, so I was going to be in and out anyway. But before I could even make it to the ramen, the cashier, Dave, spoke up. Hey, can I help you find anything? I looked over at him, confused. This convenience store was down the street from my house, so I came in all the time. Dave knew I was here for ramen. No? Just getting the usual. It was then that I noticed the sweat forming on Dave's forehead. His whole body seemed tense, and his hands were pressed flat against the countertop. Something didn't feel right. I quickly grabbed a random flavor and went up to pay. Dave moved with slow, deliberate movements. I'm now looking around, trying to figure out what had him on edge. I notice a stack of beer cans behind them, and in the reflection of one of the cans, I notice something moving by Dave's feet. Without thinking, I lean over the counter and look down. The end of a barrel points back up at me. My throat goes dry as the robber who was crouched behind the counter stands up. He continues to point his weapon at me as he says, "Put your hands up and back away from the counter." I do as he says. Then the robber suddenly hits Dave in the back of the head, knocking him out cold. I think I'm about to throw up when I ask, Why did you do that? I didn't need either of you getting any ideas of overpowering me. The robber calmly steps around Dave and gets closer to me. He looks me up and down, then asks, "What size are your shoes?" What? The robber fires a shot into the shelf beside me. Don't make me repeat myself. 11. Good. Take off the hoodie, pants, and sneakers. I'm shaking as I do as he says. I glance at the door, but I know it's no use. It's 2 in the morning, and we weren't in a busy part of town. It was unlikely for any customers to come in soon. The robber then had me kick over my clothes, and he put them on. He had me put on his clothes, and then checked his watch. There should be here any minute. Who? I imagine a getaway car full of henchmen. Instead, I can hear sirens in the distance. The idiot on the floor hit the panic button when I stood up. Now face the door and keep your hands up. Again, I do as he says. I watch as 2 cops jump out of the police cruiser and come running towards the door. I've seen hostage situations on TV, and I expect the cops to stop in front of me and point their weapons at the robber, and for the robber to start stating his demands for a helicopter. But instead, the cops burst through the doors and tackle me to the ground. While they're flipping me on my stomach, I hear one of them say into their radio, "We found the suspect while answering the convenience store stress call. We're bringing him in now." Then I felt handcuffs clicking around my wrists. I realized that the robber is nowhere in sight. He must have run off while I was facing the door. I start to panic. What? I can explain. "You are under arrest for armed robbery and manslaughter." I'm not armed. One of the cops forces me into a sitting position. "We have witnesses from the bank describing exactly what you're wearing. Where did you stash the weapon?" My heart is beating so fast it's making it hard to breathe. "Please, I didn't do it." I'm slapped hard, and one of the cops gets close to my face. "The security officer you killed on your way out was a buddy of mine. There's an interrogation room with a broken security camera with your name on it. We're going to make you regret what you did." I'm shaking at this point. "There's cameras here. Please, go check the cameras." The cop hits me again, but with his baton this time. I'm lying on the floor and my vision is blurred by black dots. I hear more commotion going on outside, and soon EMTs are flooding into the store. I'm having trouble concentrating, but I hear someone trying to talk to Dave, and then something about smelling salts. I then look over in shock when I hear Dave's voice call out, "Wait, that kid's a regular. He didn't do this." I'm conscious long enough to watch the cops' faces go from confused to horrified over what they'd done before I pass out cold. I wake up in the hospital, and after a nurse asks me a few questions, she lets a guest into my room. It's the cop who hit me. He tells me that they caught the real robber and would be able to return my clothes to me, along with some lost money from the bank robbery, if I promised not to talk about the mix-up. I went from $5 to about $1 billion.